everyone. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to Level Up Your Dex, so you have more dexterity through yoga. How exciting. I did not adjust my camera before I began, so I might have to adjust for a little bit. But yeah, welcome. So obviously we're going to start some yoga, as long as my cat doesn't get in the middle of it. I don't think she will. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah, but I think all of you guys have been here before, but if you haven't, welcome. This is, I teach yoga that's accessible to everyone, so take it at your own pace. Don't feel like you need to do something that doesn't feel comfortable today. It's really important that you listen to your body. Think of this as preventative physical therapy. And remember that less is often more. So don't feel like you need to push anything. Today, we're going to do some focus on twists, or if anyone has anything that they want to request, you're more than welcome to do so. I can take requests, but otherwise we will focus on twists today. So I think that's it. Oh, another thing, think of this as sort of a donation-based class. Tips, donations allow me to continue to bring this to you, so if you feel up to it, you enjoy what you're seeing today, there's a donation link below that will go through Streamlabs. If you'd rather do PayPal, there's another one below that. That won't go to immediately updating our goal here, but I will update it later. So either option, those are both available options. And if you can't tip, I totally understand. If you can spread the word, that's also very helpful. So I'm just happy you guys are here. I very much appreciate it. And this, I guess I should explain this too. If we get up to this total goal in the next so many days, then I will teach a yoga stream as a character. So it could be Ray, could be Bellatrix Lestrange, could be Harley Quinn, maybe another one. Those are the three I'm thinking of right now. So this is where we're headed. That's what we're going to do if we get there. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and I will also stick around for questions afterwards if you have any questions or anything you want to bring up. Oh. And sorry, cat is being entertaining. And I think that's it. Thank you. These are Espionage Cosmetics. If you guys haven't seen these guys, they're nail wraps. You just stick them on there, and these are glitter ones, but they also have. I know I also get distracted by shiny things, BSBK, but they have little superhero masks on them. A few of them do, which is kind of cool. They've got so many cool. It's too much. I'm going to. Yeah, Espionage is really cool. They've got, I think they also sell eyeshadows, but their nail wraps are the main thing. I think they also sell leggings. They're kind of growing, but they're usually at WonderCon and Comic-Con. I've never seen them at any gaming conventions, but I wish they would go to them because they do have some that are polyhedral dice. I have a set that's it's got like D20, D6, D8 on the different nails, and then it is also like a battle map. They're cool. And then they have some that are just all dice. So they've got a lot of options. Anyway, check them out. Like them. They're cool. But yeah, let's get started. So let's get some sounds. Let me know if you guys can't hear it, because I noticed at one point, for some reason, oops, that was turned off. So let me check. Desktop audio is good. Sweet! Okay. Turn this up for myself a touch. Neat. All right. So let me make sure you guys can see. It's not too bad. Let me tilt this up a touch, if it will let me. Okay. So go ahead and we're gonna start either seated or on your back, whichever feels most comfortable to you. And start by just checking in. Don't feel like you need to do anything yet. Just notice where the breath is. Notice how the body feels. Just want to take this moment to be present. It's what this beginning moment is. It's to check in, be here, be able to focus, to calm down maybe if you need to. One of the biggest benefit of yoga, in my opinion, is the awareness you gain. Is the body awareness. Helps for safety just throughout your day-to-day life. the awareness of breath, the development of breath. Those are the big, big things to me. So now let's switch the breath. We'll take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Now let's just do a few of these. These are great because it helps relax the body a bit. Breathing out through the mouth relaxes the jaw a bit. Which I don't know, if you're like me, your jaw may be tight. You guys can't hear me. Or if you can hear me, I'm so quiet. There, hopefully you can hear me better now. If you didn't hear what I said though, we're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. It helps relax the body. And I was just saying that one of the biggest benefits for me for yoga is the body awareness that you gain. The breath awareness, the breath development. Next exhale, if they're not already, close your eyes. Let's switch the breath to in and out through the nose. Letting both the inhale and the exhale be about the same length. Both nice and deep. And this is the breath we're going to bring into our work today. Breathing in through the nose helps warm the air as it moves into the body. Or if you're stopped up, you can always breathe through the mouth. But we're working towards breathing through the nose. The most important part is that you're breathing, more than anything else. Just breathing. So on our next inhale, if you're laying flat, come to a seated position. Easy seated pose, legs crossed. And then on the inhale, we'll sweep both arms up. We'll exhale, hands to the heart. And just going with the breath a few times. Next inhale, we're going to take just one arm up. The other hand will come to the mat. So we're stretching through the side of the body. Exhale that arm down. Inhale the other. And we'll just continue to switch side to side a few times. Let's find one more on both sides. And then meeting back at center, let's inhale both arms back up. We're going to find a twist. So for this twist, belly is going to go first to one side or the other. Rest of the spine follows behind, head last. Exhale, hands here. Try to avoid using hands to push yourself or pull yourself further. Inhale, arms up. Let belly go to the other side as you begin to exhale. Release arms here. And just continuing from side to side with the breath. Let's do one more on both sides. And then after this last inhale, let's exhale back to center. And once here, let's just roll one shoulder back. Oh, my shoulders, my arms are tight after that Beat Saber I did the other day. Oh boy, it was intense. Did stream Beat Saber very briefly through kind of a hacked way of streaming it, which kind of made it lag, so I gotta play with that some more. And let's switch to the other shoulder. And let's release the shoulder, and let's do a head tilt. So on an exhale, we'll let one ear drop towards the same shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Hello, Zuko. And we're just going side to side. Find one more on both sides. Oh, my neck's tight today. Let me back at center. And then on the next inhale, we're going to turn just to look over our shoulder. Exhale, center. Turn the other way on the inhale. Exhale, center. Just continuing side to side. One more, both sides. And we'll come back to center. Once here, let's place feet flat on the mat. And we're going to switch to a seated cat-cow. So place hands behind the knee joint on the thigh. We want to sit tall on these sits bones or butt bones. And we'll start with cat. So on an exhale, we're rounding through the spine. Start down at the tailbone, work up. Try to avoid leaning. So we want to stay up on the sits bones, but we're just rounding. Then we'll switch to cow. Inhale, curving. Good. And just continuing with the breath. Find one more through both. Oh, I've done too many. I'll add another back bend. Okay, come back to a neutral spine. Let's swing the feet around and we'll come to all fours. Let's find spinal balance. I like this one. Make sure I don't hit anything here. So inhale, right arm, left leg out, flex the foot, reach from fingertips to heel. Exhale, release, switch sides, left arm, right leg. Good, and just continuing side to side with the breath. Welcome back, Zuko. See you later. You want to try to keep the spine straight on this one. It's really, really easy to add a back bend if you want to take the leg up too high. Just think about reaching straight out. Let's find one more on both sides. And then after the last one, let's come back to child's pose. So sit back on your heels, forehead to the mat. And just take a moment here. You can also place forehead on stacked fists if that's more comfortable. We'll take a moment, rock side to side, massage the hips a bit. All right, next inhale, let's go ahead and lift to down dog. So we're gonna curl toes under, lift the tailbone to the highest point, and we'll alternate heel press here. So we're pressing down on one heel, bending the other knee, switching back and forth, going with the breath. And we wanna make sure that fingers are spread wide. We're pressing out into the fingertips. I'm going to turn this way for a moment. We're also pressing shoulder blades against the back or towards the tailbone. So I don't know if you can see that. It kind of sounds funny, but we're essentially pressing them down so that the shoulders move away from the ears. And it's more than just moving the shoulders away from the ears. You can think about it like that, but that might not quite work the same way. All right, let's go ahead and, well, actually first let's move through a plank flow a few times. So we're going to create a wave through the spine, starting down at the feet, round as you inhale forward to a full plank, straight spine here. Exhale, round back the way you came. Good, and we're just going to take a few of these with the breath. Let's find one more. Meeting back at down dog. Then let's walk to the top of the mat or into forward fold at least. Hello, welcome to anyone who's joining us. We're still in the warm up. On an inhale to reverse swan dive. Come up. Ooh, hit your heater. Good. Let's exhale mountain for a moment, hands by our sides. And from here, we're going to step the feet about mat width apart. So that's wider than hip socket distance, even a touch wider than kind of the edge of the hip here, the meat of the hip. So we're in a wider leg, but not too wide, just a little bit wider. And then inhale, arms up, look to the sky as you do. And on an exhale, we're going to sit to a wide leg chair. So we're sitting back, weight into the heels and hips, arms sweep forward. We'll inhale back up again, look to the sky. This adds a tiny back bend. We're reaching. Exhale back to that wide leg chair. Good, going with the breath. I'll turn this way too so you can see kind of how this looks from the side. And just going with the breath, always with the breath. You can always go at your own speed. Just want to make sure the breath is deep. You don't have to go at my speed. The more you do this, the easier it will be to breathe deep faster. So you might be able to speed up if you feel like you're slow. But you don't need to go fast. And in fact, going slow is good because it helps warm the body, which is what we're doing right now. Let's find one more of these. And then let's exhale, hands by our sides. What are you? Oh, my phone is doing weird things. By our sides. And we're going to move through a twist. So for this twist, we want everything from the hips here down to stay forward. So imagine that your feet are rooted all the way up to the hips. And then we're going to take it slow to start. So belly's going to go first to one side of the other. Rest the spine follows behind. Head is last. And then we'll turn the belly to the other side. Rest the spine follows behind. And then you can start to smooth this out a bit. You can swing the arms. And just make sure you're going with the breath. But try and be conscious of the hips. Remember, the hips are completely grounded. They're rooted. So we're trying to isolate through the body here. And just find the breath. Inhale one way, exhale the other. Just as long as you're breathing deep. Let's find one more both directions. And we'll come back to center. Good, once here, let's step back in with the feet. So they are hip socket distance, so about 2 to 3 inches between them. And let's see where we're at. Let's go ahead and move through a sun salutation. Let me do it on this side. So on an inhale, we'll bring both arms up. On an exhale, we're gonna swan dive. So bend the knees, hinge from the hips, come all the way down to forward fold. On an inhale, lift halfway to monkey. So hands on the mat or the shins, torso's just coming about halfway up. Exhale, step back into child's pose. We're gonna do the kneeling version first. On an inhale, we'll come forward to kneeling plank. So shoulders are over wrists, hips are past knees. Avoid letting the hips sag down. Shift the body weight forward just a tiny bit more. Bend elbows on an exhale to kneeling crocodile. Then release hips and belly to the mat. Just use the core to lift the shoulders into low cobra. Try to avoid pressing with the hands. Exhale, come back down a bit, and we'll press back to child's pose. And then we're going to step to the tops of our mats into forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come up. Exhale, chair. Regular chair. Good. Inhale, back up. Swan dive down on an exhale. Inhale, monkey, lift halfway. Exhale. We'll step back to down dog, but you can still do the previous version if you want. So this is the full version. Feel free to do the kneeling one we just did instead. So on an inhale, we'll come forward to full or kneeling plank. Shift forward onto the toes if you're in full. Exhale, come down to crocodile, full or kneeling. Inhale, pull the belly button through. I'm using the hands to shift my body forward into up dog or low cobra. Exhale, come back over the toes to down dog or child's pose. And then we'll walk back to the top of the mat to forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. We'll exhale, chair. So let's do one more. Inhale, back up. Swan dive down on the exhale. Inhale, monkey, lifting halfway. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. I'm going to do the kneeling version this time. Inhale to full or kneeling plank. Shift forward. Exhale, full or kneeling crocodile. Shift forward, especially for up dog. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. And exhale back to down dog or child's pose. Good, then let's walk or step to the top of the mat. And on the inhale, it's reverse swan dive. And let's exhale, chair. Good, let's inhale back up. On an exhale, let's swan dive back down. And then from here, let's step back with the right foot to a high crescent lunge. I'm sorry, yeah, this is right. Really, it's a runner's lunge, not a high crescent lunge. I use blocks under my hands because it's better on my back. You do not have to have these to do this. Hands can be on the mat. If you need a little lift, you can use anything under your hands, basically to extend your arms out is what we're doing here, or bringing the floor closer to your arms. Good, so let's just hold this lunge for a few deep breaths. You can also drop the back knee to the mat and make this kneeling if you want. But what we want here is to reach through the top of the head. You might feel a bit of a stretch in the back foot, in the hips. Good, and I'm going to turn this way real quick, see if you can see this. Because what we want here are all of our joints in line. So my knee, my front leg is in line with this hip, so is my back leg. It's easy to actually separate out like that, but you want to avoid that if possible. Good, and welcome to anyone who's just joining us. We've just finished the warm-up, so go easy if you're joining us right now. Actually, I'm going to turn back this way because we're going to add a twist. So for a twist, we want to make sure this right wrist is directly underneath the right shoulder. Make sure the spine is long every time before you twist. Then when you're ready, belly's going to go first towards this front leg, so towards the left leg. Belly first, head last. And we can stay here. This left hand can be on the left thigh. You could sweep the left hand up. You can also drop the back knee down if you want, if it's not already. We're going to hold here and make sure this leg and torso are hugged right up against one another. So we want to avoid letting the knee fall open, which can twist all those joints. So holding here, and I'm going to grab some cushion for my knee. My knee's down. Feel free to do the same. Anything you have for cushion can work. Oops, sorry, hitting the microphone. And just think about continuing to reach to the top of the head. I'll turn this way too so you guys can see it from this position. Let's find one more deep breath here. Exhale, turn back to center. Let's step forward to forward fold, and let's switch sides. So step back with the left foot, so the right knee should now be the forward knee. And we're gonna hold here. Again, feel free to drop the back knee down if you wanna make this kneeling instead. Remember, there is no best option. It's just whatever feels best for you today. That's gonna change day to day. Trying to make sure those joints are in line. If you have a mirror nearby, feel free to use that to see alignment. It can help. It can also be very distracting. So try not to watch it all the time. Hello, welcome to anyone joining us. We have just finished the warm-up, so go easy if you join us now. Good, let's add the twist on this side. I'll turn this way so you guys can see it. So nice long spine. Make sure this left wrist is underneath the left shoulder. Right hand to the right thigh. When you're ready, belly goes first to the right or towards that front leg. Right arm can sweep up. You can stay on the right thigh. You can drop the back knee, make this a kneeling lunge if you want. Good, and I'll turn this way. I'm gonna turn this way so you guys can see it from the other side. But still reaching through the top of the head. I'll turn back this way. Let's find one more deep breath. The exhale, we're going to turn back to center. And let's step forward to forward fold. And then from here, let me come back a little bit. Let's find an airplane pose. So for our airplane, we're just going to lift the torso about halfway. Hands come by the hips, palms face the mat. We're pressing shoulder blades towards one another. Bend the knees as much as you need to, even resting the ribs on the thighs if you need to take pressure off the back. But holding here. Ooh, this is intense on hamstrings. Let's just find 2 more deep breaths here. And next inhale, come all the way up. Oh no. They're cutting the tree outside, so sorry if there's some noise, guys. Let's exhale, chair. Holding here for a few deep breaths. Arms out at the heart or on the thighs for supported chair. Just finding a few deep breaths. Maybe this won't be too long. Oh, bye tree. I hate it when you do this. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale, swan dive down. Come all the way down. Let's step back to down dog. Take a moment. Breathe into the legs, the back. Again, pressing shoulder blades against the back. And let's move through a vinyasa. So this is the middle part of the sun salutation. You can do full or kneeling. I'll do full this time. So starting in down dog or child's pose. Inhale to full or kneeling plank. Shift forward. Exhale, full or kneeling crocodile. Shift forward, inhaling up dog or low cobra. And exhale back to down dog or child's pose. Good. Then from here, let's drop the knees to the mat. Come to all fours. And we're going to pick up the left knee. Turn the left foot behind you like a kickstand. Extend the right leg out, sweep the right hand up. This is a kneeling side plank. So we're gonna hold here for a few deep breaths. I'm gonna add some cushion under my knee. And I'm going to find fist for wrist to take some pressure off of my wrist. If you want more intensity, you can lift this right leg in line with the spine. We're just gonna hold here for a few deep breaths. Hello, welcome to anyone joining us. Good, we're gonna switch to gate. So drop this right foot if it's lifted. Press off the left hand, come all the way up to a T. That's tree falling. This right foot is flat, toes are pointed same direction you are. Then the left arm is gonna go to the sky, so the wrist stacks over the shoulder. Peel the body away, bringing the right hand to the right leg. Why are they cutting up the whole tree? I do weird things to trees out here, you guys. Next exhale, let's come back down. We're just gonna switch sides. So drop the right hand down, pick up the knee a bit, come back to all fours. And then I'll do it this way so you can see it this side. Pick up the right knee, turn the right foot behind you, extend the left leg out, sweep the left hand up, and we'll hold here. And again, you can lift this left leg for more intensity. And now I'll flip around so you're not looking at my back. Even though I know it's the back, my back's great. It's just great. Great view. This leg can be lifted or down. Either way, foot's flexed. I'm sad, you guys. Good. Let's switch to gait. So drop the foot if it's lifted, come all the way up. Right wrist goes to the sky, stacking over the shoulder. Left hand to the left leg. Left foot is flat on the mat, toes are pointed same direction you are. Adjust here. And just breathe into this right side. We're getting the stretch here. This is a lateral flexion or opening up this side of the body. You might also get a stretch in the inner left thigh or hip. Let's find one more deep breath. Exhale. Come all the way back down. Drop the left hand. Come back to all fours. Let's come back to down dog. So curl the toes under, lift. Take a few more moments here to breathe into the legs. Good. From here, we're going to hold something that's kind of difficult. All right, so get ready. So we're going to sweep this left leg up. On an exhale, we're going to hold a core plank. So we're going to draw the left knee in towards the chest, shifting shoulders forward over the wrists. Hold here. We'll do 2 deep breaths. Good. Then we're going to lift a little higher, step through with that left leg, or help the leg through. Doesn't need to be perfect. Good. Then from here, I'm going to turn around so we can see this other direction. So readjust the back foot for a warrior 2 foot. So that means it's flat to the mat. It's about parallel to the short edge of the mat. Left knee, left toes stay pointed forward. Left knee is bent. On an inhale, right arm's going to go first, and then the left into warrior 2. And then you can take a moment to readjust. This doesn't need to be perfect, okay? But we want the feet in line. We're pressing down into both feet, reaching through the top of the head, and arms are at shoulder height, palms face the mat. Or use cactus arms, hands on hips or at the heart if you're protecting shoulders, okay? Good, holding here. Breathing into the hips. Hips should be open. Good, and also when you look down at your front foot, you only want to see the big toe and none of the little toes. That will help with alignment on that front leg, that front knee. Okay, let's find one more deep breath. From here, let's do triangle. I don't know if we've done this one yet. So release arms. We're going to straighten out this left leg without locking the knee. Let the hips go back a little bit. Then turn this right hip in as much as feels comfortable. Hinge from the hips. Left hand's going to go anywhere on this left leg except for the knee. And we'll sweep the right hand to the sky and stack the shoulders. So you can have the left hand up on the thigh. It could be up this high. It can be down lower. But what we want is a straight spine. So we're actually looking for triangles in this pose. There are 3 of them. There's one in the whole body. There's one between the legs, and the most important one is between the torso, left leg, and left arm. So if the torso is rounded, we've lost our triangle. So take a moment to find that straight spine. That'll help protect the back. Also, this right hand can go to the hip if you're protecting that shoulder. And this pose is all about stretching this left inner thigh, hip. Good. From here, let's bend the left knee. Let's come back to warrior 2. And we're just going to pinwheel back to the mat. It's the same way we got up. So right arm's going to go first. Peel the back heel off the mat. Come down to a lunge. Let's step back to down dog. Take a moment here. And then let's switch sides. So inhale the right arm up and back. So again, we're going to hold our core plank for a few deep breaths. So exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest, shift shoulders forward over the wrists. 2 deep breaths here. Good, lift a little higher, step through or help that leg through to a lunge. We're gonna readjust the back foot for warrior 2. So it's about parallel to the short edge of the mat. On an inhale, we'll pinwheel up, left arm and then the right. Good, now switch sides. Holding here in this warrior 2. So again, feet are in line. We're gazing over the right fingertips. Breathing deep. And for anyone who's joining us, we are working on this character yoga goal, which means I will teach a practice as a character. Could be Ray, could be Bellatrix Lestrange, could be Harley Quinn. Maybe I'll let you guys vote. We're just working towards that goal. Good, let's find one more deep breath. Exhale, release the arms. We're going to switch to triangle. So straighten out the right leg without locking the knee. Hips back, left hip turns in. Hinge from the hips. Right hand anywhere on this leg except for the knee. And then left hand goes to the sky to stack shoulders. So we're looking for the stretch in this right inner leg, pressing into the back left foot. Good, left hand can also go to the hip if you want. Just make sure the knee doesn't lock. So we always want circulation to flow. Oh, and you can look down to your toes out in front of you or up towards the sky, whichever feels best. Just as long as the neck stays nice and long. Let's find one more deep breath. On the exhale, let's come back up to warrior two, so bending that right knee. And then from here, we're going to pinwheel to the mat, so back hand over the head, peel the back heel off, come back down to the lunge. I'm going to step back to down dog. Take another few moments here to breathe into the legs, the back. And then let's move through another vinyasa. I'm going to do the kneeling version this time, so coming down to child's pose. Feel free to do the full if you want from down dog. Inhale to full or kneeling plank. Shift forward, exhale, full or kneeling crocodile. Shift forward, inhaling up dog or low cobra. And then exhale back to down dog or child's pose. And let's be back in down dog from here. And let's go ahead and walk to the top of the mat into forward fold. And on an inhale, we'll reverse swan dive. We'll come all the way up. Good, let's exhale the mountain, hands by our sides. We're going to find a twisting chair. So let's bring the feet and legs all the way together. This is going to help support the body in this pose. Inhale, arms back up. On an exhale, we're going to sit to chair. Come to chair first, bring hands to the heart. And we're going to let belly go first to one side or the other. It doesn't matter which one. So belly first, head last. And we're just going to place hands on the right side. So this is where we're going to hold our twisting chair. I'll turn this way so you can see it. Keep the spine nice and straight. Squeeze the legs together to help support. Let's find one more deep breath. Exhale, come back to center. Let's inhale up. Take a moment reaching to the sky here. Next exhale, come back to chair, hands to the heart, and we'll switch sides. So belly first to the opposite side, head last. Both hands to that left thigh. You can bend the knees a bit deeper if you want. That can be a bit more shallow. But just keep the spine nice and long and straight. Sorry for the noise, guys. Good, let's turn back to center, inhale up. Let's exhale hands to the heart this time. Step the feet back out so they're about hip socket distance. Good, we're gonna find a standing quad stretch. I'm gonna turn around the other way. Well, I'll start this way so you guys can see it. So we're gonna bring weight and balance to the left foot. We're gonna bend the right knee. Reach back with the right hand for the ankle. If reaching the ankle isn't quite comfortable, use something to hook around it. You can use anything you have. Could be a blanket, could be a towel, could be a robe tie. So flex the foot so toes point towards the mat. It's going to help protect the knee. And then we want to make sure that the joints stay in line. So knee, hip, and ankle. So mostly avoid letting the knee stick out to the side or the ankle turn out or in. Good. If you hug this right leg next to the left, you should be okay. And the left hand can go to the hip, out to the side, or to the sky. Press the ankle into the hand as if you're trying to press the foot away from the body. Breathe into that stretch. And again, just like I did, if you need to step a foot down and come back up, that's okay. For balance poses, don't fight it. The more you fight them, the harder they are. Okay, let's find 2 more deep breaths. On that second exhale, go ahead and release that leg. Shake out the other leg, or both of them if you want. and then switch sides. So weight and balance to the right foot, bend the left knee, reach back with the left hand for the left ankle. Again, foot is flexed. Make sure all those joints stay in line. Right hand to the hip, out to the side or to the sky. Biggest thing we want to avoid is taking this right hand to that left foot, because that's going to pull that ankle in towards the center line of the body, which is going to twist those joints. I see that one happen a lot. We want to avoid that. And we're just looking for the stretch in this thigh, this quad. Let's find one more deep breath. On the exhale to release that leg. Shake them out if you want. And then from here, let's inhale both arms up. Exhale, swan dive down to forward fold. And we're just going to take a moment. You can shake, you can nod the head, you can cross the arms, you can wrap them around the legs. Just let everything release a bit here. And then let's step back to all fours. And from here, we're gonna come into a camel pose today. So if you wanna add cushion under the knees, feel free to do so, because we're gonna be on them for just a little bit. So whenever you feel ready, we're gonna come up to a kneeling position. You can have the feet flat or toes curled under, your choice. We're gonna bring hands to fists and place them on either side of the spine, right at this bony part at the top of the hips, or you can do palms if you want. And then we're going to squeeze the inner thigh together, almost like we're trying to bring the legs together, but they don't quite come together. Press elbows and shoulder blades towards one another. Lift the heart, and then press the fists into the hips and let the body fall back. Good, and just think about continuing to reach up through the heart. You can take the head back, just make sure you don't crunch the neck so the head doesn't go back too far. And just send the breath into the back, into the chest. Find 2 more deep breaths. Second exhale, release this. Let's come down to the mat, to all fours. We're gonna curl the toes under because we're gonna stretch the feet. So curl the toes under, and then when you're ready, we're gonna sit back on the heels. So there are a lot of options here. You could stay right here. You could come all the way back. You can have hands on thighs, hands on the mat, hands on something beside you. If you have yoga blocks, you can use them. Or anything else. Anything as long as it allows stability. I've used ottomans before to place my hands on that or on a chair. We're just breathing into the feet. It's funny because, you know, we use our feet all the time. Generally, most of us do at least. But we don't tend to use all of them, so we put them in shoes so they don't get stretched out and moved quite as much as they would if we didn't have shoes. Not to say that shoes are bad, shoes are great. It's not what I'm saying. Even though I know there are a lot of shoes out there that are about being barefoot. There are benefits to shoes. But still, we can stretch out our feet more. Let's find one more deep breath. On the exhale, we're gonna come back to all fours. This is my favorite part of this one. Kind of loud if you live in an apartment like me, but tap the tops of the feet into the mat, just to kind of let them release. Good, and then from here, let's sink hips to one side. We'll swing the legs all the way around. Let's find another twist. So sitting tall on these sits bones, butt bones, bend the right knee. And from here, you can either keep this right foot flat or you can cross the right foot over the left leg and stay here. So either one, whichever feels best. We want to make sure we're seated tall, so you can also elevate the hips, sitting on anything you have. Roll up your mat if you have a mat, sit on a pillow, just anything that gives you some stability. Make sure the spine is long, this left foot is flexed. When you're ready, belly goes first towards the right knee or the lifted leg. Head comes around last. Then the right hand could go behind the right hip, just avoid leaning back. Use the hand to press the torso to center. Left arm could wrap around the leg or could go across the leg the other direction. You can even find a prayer position here. So there are a lot of options. Find the one that feels best for you. Keep the spine nice and straight. Find those deep breaths. Let's find 2 more deep breaths here. Next exhale, come back to center, and we're going to switch sides. So extend this right leg back out, and the left knee, same thing, left foot to the inside of the right leg or cross it over, whichever one feels best. Make sure the spine is nice and long before you twist, and the belly's going to go first towards the front leg. Head last. And then again, we're going to turn around here. And again, this back left hand could be behind the hip, just avoid leaning back on it. Right arm could wrap around the leg. Left elbow could go across the right leg. You can find a prayer position on the left side. Whichever feels best for you. Just continue to reach through the top of the head. Keep that right foot flexed. So the body is still being engaged. And then just breathe. Always breathe. Find one more deep breath. On the exhale, come back to center. Let's unwrap the legs. And here, let's find a hip opener. Let's do butterfly. So let knees fall open, bring soles, the feet together. Keep about a foot's distance between the heel and pelvis. Again, you can elevate the hips. If you feel like you're falling backwards or the back is rounding, elevate the hips. Sit up as high as you need to. And then find a long spine once you're comfortable, reaching through the top of the head. You can stay here if you're getting the stretch already. If not, you can hinge forward from the hips. You could either have hands on ankles or walk hands out in front of you, but avoid holding on to toes, just because there's so many little tiny joints. When we hold on to the toes, we'll pull them up, and we don't want to do that. Also, if you have hands on ankles, you might be able to press elbows into the thighs, which is also an option. Scoot back a bit. And anytime we do these forward folds like this, we're folding forward, you can use a sinking breath. So you're just extending out the exhale like a sigh. Kind of like we did at the beginning, but it's in and out through the nose. Find 2 more deep breaths. Second exhale, let's come back up, bring the knees together, and we're gonna move to our backs. So from here, place both hands behind one leg, use that leverage to come back to knees to chest, and take a moment here to rock side to side if you want. You can just hold the pose, but let's let the back release for a moment. And then let's drop the right foot to the mat. We'll find upside down pigeon, one of my most favorite poses. So cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Keep this foot flexed. If you're getting the stretch here in this left outer hip and glute, stay. If not, draw the right knee in, clasp hands behind that right thigh. And we'll hold here. Just sending the breath into the stretch. Try and keep this left knee open and the left foot flexed just as much as you can. My hips are so tight. So this is always a good one. find one more deep breath. On the exhale, if this right leg is lifted, go ahead and drop it back to the mat. And then let's extend the left leg all the way up, and we're going to find a hamstring stretch. So you can hold on to this left leg anywhere except for the knee. So you can hold on to the thigh, to the calf. You could also do a yoga toe hold. First 2 fingers hook around the big toe, thumb on the toenail for that, or at the top of the toe to help support. And then we're focusing on flexing the foot, pressing through the heel. You can also hook something around the top of the arch of the foot. If you do that, hold on to it on either side with the arms as long as they'll go. Also, this right knee can be bent or the leg can be extended. The extended leg tends to be a bit more intense for the stretch. So whichever feels best. Again, one is not better than the other. They're just options. But still focusing on flexing the foot, pressing through the heel. You can draw the leg towards the chest a little bit, but try to avoid forcing it. I don't know about you guys, but my hamstring was tight. Jeez. Let's find one more deep breath here. On the exhale, we're going to roll onto the right side, so the opposite side of the leg that's lifted. And we're going to let that leg fall in front of you as you do. And then let the left shoulder open back to the mat behind you, taking arms out to a T, moving into a twist. And then once here in this twist, if having that leg extended is not comfortable, bend the knees and stack the knees instead. But just release into this twist. Let's find one more deep breath. On the exhale, come back to your back, and we're going to switch sides. So we're going to start with upside down pigeon. So drawing the right leg up, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, foot is flexed. Again, feel free to stay here if you're getting the stretch in this right outer hip and glute. If not, draw the left knee in, clasp hands behind the left thigh, and we'll hold here. Breathing deep. Oh, this side is so much tighter than the other side for me. You may find that too. In fact, you're very likely to find that one side is tighter than the other. Not in just this pose, but in any pose. Very typical of the body. And one thing in these poses, these deep stretches like this, you want to focus on the breath because that's going to help the muscles release, getting that oxygen to them. And often you'll hear breathe into whatever part of the body you're stretching. That's to focus your attention on that part of the body, to focus on sending the breath in and out through the body to those muscles. Obviously, breath is going to go, oxygen is going to go to every muscle, but it's just about your attention and your intention. So let's find one more deep breath. And on an exhale, let's go ahead and release the left foot back to the mat if it's lifted, and then extend the right leg out. We'll find our hamstring stretch. So hold on anywhere except for the knee. So thigh, calf, yoga toe hold, or something around the top of the arch. Make sure arms are long for that. Flex the foot. Press through the heel. You can draw the leg closer to the body. But just focus on pressing up through the heel. And you might notice as you hold this that the body's going to release a bit more. All of a sudden, you'll be able to get the leg a bit closer to the chest, or you might be able to straighten the leg out a bit more if the knee's bent a whole lot. That's because the body slowly relaxes into stretches. That's why you want to hold them for a little while. Because at first the body goes, oh no, you're going to hurt me. And then it goes, oh, okay, this feels good. Good, let's find one more deep breath. On an exhale, we're going to roll onto the left side and let this right leg, scoot over a little bit, let this right leg fall across the body. And then let the right shoulder open to the mat behind you. And again, you can adjust by bending the knees, stacking the knees for a little less intensity, keeping the legs extended for more. Just releasing into the twist. And try and let the body relax into this pose as much as you can. It can be hard to do, actually. I find it difficult for myself sometimes. Let's find one more deep breath. On the exhale, we're going to come back to our backs, and you can move into final relaxation. So if you want to do Shavasana, which is corpse pose, the traditional pose, just let there be a little space between the feet so legs can rest. Arms are by your sides, palms facing up, closing your eyes, focusing on the breath, and just letting everything release here. So holding here, I'm going to close this door so it's a little less noise. You can also hold this seated if you want, but just turning your attention back to the breath. Still letting it be deep, be full. And we're not trying to get away from anything here. We're not trying to find a perfect, quiet place, perfectly peaceful place. We want to do the opposite of trying to close it off. We want to be aware of everything. So notice every little thing you hear and just let it come to you. Don't feel like you need to search for it. Notice what you feel. Notice the body as it presses into the mat. And if you catch the mind wandering, don't attach to the thoughts. Just let them pass by and then bring your attention back to your senses. You may notice the body begins to relax a bit more. Just letting it. We do this moment to help calm the mind, let the body release after this practice. And just to refocus. And then let's start to wiggle fingers and toes. And let's add wrists and ankles, rotating them around. And let's extend arms over the head. If you're on your back, reach from fingertips to toes. And if you are laying flat, go ahead and roll onto one side and use hands to come back up to a seated pose. And once here, let's find another breath. Inhaling both arms up. Exhaling hands to the heart. taking one moment to check in here. Just checking in with the body, seeing how you feel. Thank you all for joining me today and sharing your practice with me. Namaste. Whew. That one felt pretty good today. Sometimes they can get real tiring for me.